Hey, what is up, photo fam? It's your boy Eddy, Herrera, also known as eddyhphoto. How y'all doing today? Today, we got a little bit of a different video. We are back making thumbnails. And what kind of thumbnail we're making today? Well, we are making versus thumbnails. If you watch Assignment or any of the people around them, you know they got pretty high quality thumbnails. So I wanted to create them kind of like them. First, we got a thumbnail from a few months back. We got a mini minter video, which is best friend versus girlfriend. KSI being the girlfriend, obviously, if you know, you know. And then Talia being the best friend, I guess, process of elimination, you know. And then mini minter in the front. Obviously, you can see very high quality. You have color in the background. Now, obviously, you can see there's someone in the middle, two people on the side, color. Pretty cool, right? Here's another one. Here's one that Talia, the one in the middle, just uploaded. This is mom versus boyfriend. They're holding up signs. Looks pretty cool. This is another versus theme, which is green and pink, contrasting colors. Let's stop talking about it. Let's go right into it. Alright, so a couple minutes ago, I took a couple photos of me that I'm going to use for the thumbnail. As you can see, we got plenty of options. They're obviously of myself, which is a little bit weird. But if you'd like to use them for practice, take a couple photos of yourself. That way you can get used to, and that's a free photo tip for you right there. Alright, you take your photos, then you're going to get rid of the ones you're not going to use, and then you are ready to make your thumbnail. So how to create a thumbnail. You're going to be in Photoshop or whatever app you're going to use. I'm going to go File, New. Alright, a thumbnail is obviously 1920 by 1080 with a resolution of 72. This is going to get you the highest resolution possible for making thumbnails, as YouTube does put a cap on the thumbnails of 3 megabytes. If I talk a little bit faster in this video, don't forget you can slow it down or pause whenever you need to. When creating that size, you can come over here to preset. You can hit thumbnail, make sure it is horizontal with 1920, height 1080. You can leave everything else alone, and then you can go ahead and hit create. Alright, cool. We got a blank canvas right here. First, I'm going to put the photo of myself in the middle and then work from there. To place the photo in Photoshop, I'm going to go File, Place Embedded. I'm going to find the photo I want to use and hit enter. I do look a little bit funny in this one, but you got to put your pride to the side sometimes in thumbnails and go for it. All right, so I got my photo right here. It's placed. It fit the frame really well. I'm going to come over here to the layers panel. I'm going to right click on that image. I'm going to hit rasterize layer. That way I can do whatever I want to it. If you're using the latest rendition of Photoshop, is going to be very easy. I'm going to come over here to the selection tool. If you're in the photography mode, it'll be the fourth one down. Object selection tool. Now, I am going to start off by just hitting select subject up here at the top. I'm going to hit select subject, and it is going to automatically do it for me. I'm going to quickly show you how to do it manually. I'm going to come over here again, hit the quick selection tool, and then just go over myself. If I go over something I don't want to, I can hit Alt or Option and then go over myself just like that. If you took the photo in a well-lit environment, it is going to be very easy for you. And there we go. For my sake, since I do trust the selection tool, I'm going to hit select subject. It's going to grab a very good cut out of me. It's going to do really good with the hair. If I look right here, I am missing a little bit of my beard. So for this, I'm actually going to come over to the third option, hit the lasso tool. I'm going to hold shift and go over my beard and make a full circle. That way it basically encloses the space. The best ways to set this up is to have a completely blank background, either using a color that's not similar to your clothing or skin tone, say a white background or a green screen. Alright, now cool, I'm selected. I'm going to right click on myself, then hit layer via copy, and then turn off the old layer. So there we go, boom. Photoshop did a really good job at grabbing my selection. Compared to the other thumbnails, they are smack middle and take up most of the frame, while the other ones actually still do take up most of the frame, but they are off to the side, obviously. All right, now that I'm here, I'm gonna come over here and lock the layer. That way I can't move myself or interfere with it because I could cause issues. I'm gonna come over here and create a new layer. I'm gonna bring it below the existing layer because I'm gonna start adding the color. Two cool contrasting colors for thumbnails is red and blue, like red team, blue team, or green and magenta. These obviously look really good for thumbnails. It sometimes depends depends on what you're wearing. You don't want colors that blend into your shirt or else you won't stand out as much. That's something they really keep important. KSI over here has red hair, so we're obviously not going to put the red background on him. Just something to consider. For this one, I'm going to choose the red and blue color. I'm going to come over here and grab the rectangle layer, which is going to be down here. And then up here, you're going to see an option called fill, and then click on that. I'm going to select a color. Just like this one, I'm going to keep blue on the left side and red on the right. If I don't like that at the very end, I can just switch them, obviously. I'm going to come over here to the blues. I'm going to select a pretty much royal blue and then hit OK. I'm going to close that fill box. Then I'm going to create a rectangle, smack middle, about right there in the middle of my nose. There we go. Why is there this line here? Because there is a stroke on it. You don't want there to be a stroke on most of these, so select the stroke off at the top left. There you go. Now I'm going to grab that rectangle and put it behind my layer. Now I'm going to go back to my old layer, go back to the fill, and then do the same thing, but with red. I'm going to go over it. It doesn't matter where it is. Again, the stroke is on. I need to turn that off, turn that right off. Boom. I got red and blue right behind me. Already starting to look like a thumbnail. All right, cool. We got these two. I'm going to lock them just like I did the other layer. So come over here, hit lock. The other one, hit lock. Perfect. Now everything is locked. Nothing is moving. I'm going to come over here and start adding my people. So I'm going to go File, Place Embedded. Now what the heck is going on over here? I'm facing the wrong way. Well, if you're doing that, come over here, hit Edit, Transform, Flip, Horizontal. Boom! I'm facing the right way. Look at that. I'm a Photoshop genius. Make myself a tiny bit bigger. All right, so we got three completely different people sitting right here. Make sure if you do this with yourself, change your outfit, please, because if you don't, you're gonna look kind of weird. All right, so we got this. Could this run? I mean, it could, but there's still more I could do. All right, if you look over here, there's cartoon lines. Lines going swoop, 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 and then verses. So first, I'm going to do the verses, and then I'm going to start getting into a little bit more of the lighting. I'm going to start with the easiest stuff to do and then get more and more complicated as I go out. All right, I'm going to lock all the layers that I am using. I'm going to quickly name them. So middle me, left me, right me. These extra layers that I'm not using, I'm going to bring them all to the bottom. That way I don't accidentally mess with them, move them, delete them, whatever. Wait. Have you saved your file yet? Come over here, hit File, Save As. You don't want to lose your file, just in case. All right, come over here, hit the text tool. Make sure it's horizontal. You don't want to do vertical. Unless you do, knock yourself out. I'm going to type verses. I'm going to make the font very, very big. So I came up here and then created the point font to, let's do 1,000. That looks pretty good, but we obviously have to put it behind myself. And can we see it? Not necessarily. I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to hit Control T, bring it down. Notice how this is very subtle, so it does not matter that much. It still matters, but don't completely stress over it. It's just going to be an element. I'm going to hit the text tool and then turn the opacity down, down, down. All right, it's missing a little bit of depth. So I'm going to come down here to the FX tab, hit Drop Shadow. And then create the distance a little bit bigger. I'm going to bring it behind every layer except for the color. And then it obviously doesn't have to be this font. I can mess around with it, make it funny. My fonts are usually very sharp. For the sake of this one, I'm going to make it a little bit different. This looks like an old diner font almost. I'm going to add a space in between the two. There we go. All right, we're good with the verses. I'm going to lock that layer. Now we're going to add some cartoon lines. I'm going to put it at the very front for now. And then obviously you can see it's a square. It doesn't have to be a square. Stretch it out, bring it to the top. Now the lines are black. I want them to be white just for the sake of this thumbnail. I'm going to rasterize the layer. Come over here, right click it, rasterize layer, hit Control I. Now the layers are white. Now I am going to screen the layer, which basically makes all the black disappear. Where it says normal, come over here, hit screen. There we go. Lines are pretty good. Bring it behind me, but in front of the color. Perfect. And then I'm going to turn the opacity still a little bit more down. If you come over here, there is lighting, almost like a stroke on Talia and Mini Minter. This is more of a lighting effect, but I am going to kind of fake it in Photoshop. I'm going to come over here to the layers panel. I'm going to unlock myself by clicking on the lock. I'm going to go down into FX and then I'm going to hit outer glow. Since I'm in the middle, I'm going to leave it white, but on the other ones, I want there to be more of a red or a blue glow, just like as the background suggests. As you can see in the thumbnail with Talia, there is glow on top of their head, so we're going to do that. By doing that, I'm going to come over here, select myself, and then come over here to the brush tool. I'm going to hit Alt. That selects the color I want to choose. Grab the blue. It's going to look a little bit weird, but bear with me. Go over the hair and the skin a tiny bit, just like this. And then I'm going to go over my clothes. I'm just creating a basic outline of lighting. And then down here a little bit too. Now, looks a little bit funky. So I'm going to go over to the layer styles and then hit color. That looks like there is blue blending into me. So because of that, I'm going to come down here, hit outer glow again. And just like that, I'm glowing with a little bit of blue in my hair. That way, it looks like I'm glowing blue. Same thing with the other side. I'm going to hit the brush, select red, create a new layer, go over myself with red. If any of the colors are a little bit too harsh for you, just bring the opacity down. That way it's a little bit more subtle, just like that. As you can see on this one, there is a glow coming out of the background that is very easy to do. Come over to one of the color layers, create a new layer. Alrighty, now we're gonna take the gradient tool on the left hand side, or you can just hit G on the keyboard. Come over here to the top of the gradient, right over here on the right side. Select the color white. Left side, leave it alone. That is only if you are in the basic gradient. If not, you're going to come over to the top tab, make sure the opacity is 0. That way it is not showing. Make sure that color is white, not a weird lavender color. There you go. Now from where you click to where you go, you are basically dragging the glow where you want it to go from start to finish. So from down here to up here, boom, you got a glow. There you go. Alrighty, we are pretty much actually almost done. I'm going to take all the layers, bottom to top, the ones you are using. Grab the bottom one, grab the top one, hold shift, and then click the top. Just like this. So you're going to select all of them at the same time. I'm going to hold Alt. I'm going to duplicate all the layers. Now, when you duplicate them all, they're only going to be selected duplicates. I'm going to right click on them. I'm going to hit Merge Layers. That is basically going to create a copy of the layer of all the layers. I'm going to hit Control, then Alt or Option. Then I'm going to select that layer on the little eyeball. That is only going to keep this layer off and on. The point of doing that is so we can select the entire layer at once instead of having to go through every single layer for the steps we're about to do. I'm going to hit Control L. That is going to mess with the levels. I want the thumbnail to be a little bit brighter. So on the right hand side over here, bring that up. There we go. You can see the slight difference. And then I'm going to hit Control U. That is going to change the hue and saturation. I am going to take the thumbnail and make it a little bit more saturated. Not too much to where you look like a deep fried donut. What that does is from afar, you can see it a little bit better. You can see the different skin tones, different contrast. And then from here, I'm going to go Filter, Sharpen, Unsharp Mask. That is going to sharpen the thumbnail. Again, you don't want it to look deep fried. Unless you do, be my guest. If you're here and you're like, dang, I want to fix something, turn that layer off, and that way you can go back into it and then repeat the same step to create the new thumbnail image. If you want to change the color, say you're like, hey, I don't really like blue and red. I want to switch these around. And then you can literally just flip it. I'm going to select the blue, bring it over here, match it up with the red. I'm going to lock the rest of the layers. That way I can just grab the red, bring it over here. You are going to have to switch the glows. For the sake of the video, I'm going to leave them off. Again, I'm going to merge them all. Bring up the saturation just a little bit. Bring the levels up. That way it's a tiny bit brighter. If you don't like how far away it is, you can get a little bit closer. Hit Control T. That way I can fill in more space. I'm going to try to keep that line in the middle. And there we go, guys. We got our thumbnail. But yeah, guys, it's been your boy, Eddy Herrera, also known as eddyhphoto. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to drop a like on it, comment, and subscribe. That really helps out the channel. I'm going to be real with you guys real quick. So I'm going to talk a little bit slower for this. Alright, guys, if you made it this far into the video, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on in my life. Basically, there is going to be a big shift in my day-to-day, my job, and my learning at home. I can't really get into it because then it's nothing bad in life. It's me pretty much trying to make more advances in my personal life. But yeah, I hope you guys understand. There might be a shift. There might not be. It all depends on how everything pans out. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much been me today. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Drop a comment, drop a like. Love you guys. Catch you guys in the next video whenever that is. Peace out, guys. See you soon. Take it easy.